Prova.
Just for the wind.
Yes, of course.
Não é esses microfones, podemos mesmo afastar esses microfones. Não, aqui também tem outra cadeira. Tem outra cadeira aqui. O que vamos fazer, justamente como nós vamos ter os nomes aqui, vamos fazer uma primeira ronda da apresentação. Então, vai ser começo, ok? Isso não existe agora.
Sim. Sim. Sim.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here in this experimental session of the outdoor Q&A under, well, we can't say extreme for Locarno, it can be more extreme, but under challenging weather. So thank you for being here. And, well, you already started, but another round of applause, please. They just saw for the first time on such a big screen and entirely. So, congratulations once again. Sorry, this will be noisy, and we will be using, so a couple of adaptations, we will be using these mics because this would be impossible. Anyhow, we can hear the wind. And also because of that, we can't have the names here because it would just fly away. So we will quickly start. We're here with Carlos Conceição, the director, and all the attending cast. There's part of the crew, producers, and part here with us, so you know they can also answer. So very quickly, because the names aren't here, can you just introduce yourselves and pass the mic? This one, começa.
Okay. Hello, my name is Miguel Amorim, and I don't know, I'm the bold one.
Hello, Silvio Vieira.
Anabela Moreira.
I'm Carlos. I would like to introduce Xavier Tiolan, sound mixer, Rafael Gonçalves Cardoso, sound recordist and sound editor, António Gonçalves, film editor, my mother and co-producer Margarida Ventura, Inês Garcia Marques, script supervision and continuity, João Matos, producer, Leonor Noivo, producer, and Artur Pinheiro, production designer.
Gustavo Sumta.
João Cachola.
André Cabral.
Ulé Baldé.
Vicente Gil.
Ivo Roja.
Diogo Nober.
Okay.
Carlos already presented us with
Yes.
the crew and cast, but
Well, Artur Pinheiro, production designer.
João Matos, Leonor Noiva has to go and pick something.
Inês Garcia Marques.
Margarida Ventura.
António Gonçalves.
Rafael Cardoso.
Xavier Cholin.
Voilà. So this is oops, and this is everything blows away. So this is a perfect, not the perfect weather conditions, but the perfect space to have this big conversation. I think it's quite an emotional moment because. Can I be very indiscreet? Because I don't know if I can say something that you said maybe personally, that you said, since it's my birthday today, if it goes bad, it would be very traumatic.
Oh, no.
Sorry
It can go bad,
for
just-
revealing that, something indiscreet.
No.
But I think, so
Because-
congratulations, doubly.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just that because it's a birthday, you tend to not forget what happens, no matter if it's good.
But
It's
I
very
think
good.
but I think it won't be traumatic. Maybe
No, it's
unforgettable.
going
I
very
hope.
well. It's
I
not-
hope that unforgettable, but not traumatic.
It is already unforgettable. And I would like to thank everyone here, not just here, everyone in the screening. Thank you for attending. It's very nice to be able to share with you.
Thank you very much. So, since we've already had the occasion to talk, and we will continue talking, but we don't have that much time, and there's a thanks here, and there's a big group. Please, as soon if someone has a question or a comment right now, just raise your hands because the idea here in this space is to have a conversation with you, the Locarno audience. So please, if there's questions, let's go ahead. Otherwise. Because otherwise it's easy for us to just start talking and not see, so just please, this is your space. But just maybe to break the ice, and because we haven't had, thank you, he's a good, producer. Yes. Much chance to have the actors express yourself. None of you had, the cast, none of you had seen the film finished, right? So
Maybe some of them had seen small
Fragments?
scenes in my place, like segments, perhaps.
So this is a time we've been seeing you and we love seeing you, and we would also like to hear you if you wish to jump in and share your thoughts. Some of you have already been acting quite some time. Those that attended Cannes at the Cannes probably recognize André from Fogo Facho. He has two films quite visible right in the same period, and some of you have
Ivo
had
as well. He was also Ivo was
Well,
also
yeah,
in
of
Cannes
course.
with, Remains of the Wind.
right there in Cannes.
Also in the movie with him.
Oh yes, Annabelle is also in.
Yes, of
Will
course.
of
You
the
are.
Wisp,
You're
yeah.
the. Your character is a bit different from this one. It's a bit different. So I mean, some of you have been acting lately. Some for a long time. Some maybe less. What did this moment seeing? Plus, I think this must be, in general, maybe even for the more experienced ones, one of the more community based acting, and really a solid small not small but team. I don't know, I feel and I see the emotion, so we'd like to just hear you.
Who wants to? You. No. I just have one thing to say, which is it's an honor to have such a team, not just the cast, which is amazing, every one of them, but also the team, the behind the scenes team. That's enormous privilege.
I remember those long nights we were shooting during the nights, and there was a night I was drinking wine, and I had a conversation with Carlos, and we were like, why do we do this? And then I found out that night that the reality just exists for us to make this, for the movies. For it was just the other way. So, yeah, it's such an honor to being able to be a part of this, to be a part of something that is bigger than me. That's what I think.
And then seeing the results, seeing it done.
Yeah, and then you get it. Yeah, that's why we do this. We destroy our life. I don't have an emotional life, a personal life. I don't have nothing, just a dog.
Come on, don't discourage, don't discourage them. So we don't
Yeah,
want,
but-
we want
but-
them to continue.
Yeah, but we live for this, and it's hard. I don't know what is the reality in other countries, but in Portugal, it's very hard. I imagine it's hard everywhere. But yeah, then you see what Carlos did, and I got real emotional. And for me, the movie is very personal. I was saying before that I consider myself like this a daughter of the war because my father was on the war. So this was very personal for me because while I was shooting with all these boys, they were my boys, but they represented my father. I was trying to get my father out of the war, and you never get to, once you were there, you will never get out.
Sorry, because we share the context. Maybe you can explain why you saw your father. So because otherwise they won't understand what you meant by that.
My father was in the war in Mozambique, and while I was growing up, he was always talking about what happened there. And for him, it was like he was there.
Like stuck there.
He was stuck there, and he was experiencing and all of that like it was happening. And then I shot a movie in Africa, and I went to Mozambique, and nothing was there. I got there, and it was completely different. People have moved on, like, oh, you're Portuguese, yeah. And I realized that it doesn't exist, but in my father's mind and heart, it's still there, and it's going to be always there. So it's very emotional for me. My love for my father was never able to save him. Like these boys, they will always be there. So yeah, for me it's very personal. I don't know about the other persons, but
I will tell you a little story because this war is it's still present in our country. And when I was 8 years old, I was having dinner with my mom's cousins, and the husband of the cousin of my mother fought in war, and he said to me, "I'm not racist, but I like to shake hands of a white guy the same that I like to choke a black guy." So it's a Portuguese expression that como é que se diz melhor? É tanto aperta a mão a um branco como o pescoço a um black. And so I think this movie is important for that. It's not solved. It's not solved in our country, and I discovered it while I was filming this. Just this story, very brutal. Já tá? Oh yeah, that's a word in movie, turra. It's like a very bad word for, yeah, it's like a terrorist word for, the white guys call terrorists to black guys in Africa, and the word is turras. It's a very bad word, don't say it.
We really miss João Arraes, and I would like to clap for João Arraes, our friend and colleague.
Who plays the main, yes, the most visible, let's say, yes, I mean, main character is not here. Yes, but I was thinking because probably many were looking for João Arraes because
is in the United States. He went to his sister's wedding, so yeah, he couldn't be here.
João Arraes, who had been the protagonist of your previous film, Serpentário.
Yeah, I just want to compliment something that Miguel said. I think for everyone here that made this movie, either an actor or working on the backstage, it was a very personal issue because I think everyone has someone in their family who was traumatized about what happened, or in some way, maybe it was not part of the war, but is still suffering the repercussions that war brings to people. For example, on my own case, my grandfather is an amazing person who has a lot of deep issues that he needs to solve, and unfortunately, he passed those issues onto his sons. That's a very complicated situation. So I think the movie kind of mirrors the letting go and teaching the new generations something new, you know, because I think there's a lot of disinformation about what happened, and people are not conscious about all of the things that happened throughout the Portuguese story. So I think our movie was pretty strong in building a foundation for a new view on things, accepting what happened and working it out from that point forward. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna add, not that we're like sharing over trauma or anything, but the year where the film starts, 1974, my parents came from Angola during that time. I have an uncle that was a commando. I don't know if you know what a commando is. No. So basically, the commandos were like a unit from the military that. So my uncle, okay, so what I want to say is that my uncle was a black person that probably gunned down other black people. So I feel like this film has the potential to, I mean, it is doing that already just by, you know, being brought to life. But there's really like a problem in Portugal regarding acknowledging things. We have a tendency to put everything under the rug and pretend that things did not happen. And then you see these ideals resurfacing again because things are not addressed. And it's constantly like that game, that kids game, Telefone Estragado, you know. So it's that, you know. And whenever we think about history and the way that it's written, I feel like we should always consider how much was changed and how much was redacted, you know. So that's all I want to say. Oh, and also I'm very thankful to all of you because I'm a dancer. So it's really like, yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of this with all of you because all of you really taught me a lot. So thank you.
Dancer and actor. And actor. Sorry, if someone wants to jump in, but I don't know if there's questions. Yes, there's a question over there. If you, oh, we'll share the couple of mics.
I'm very impressed how the acting of this cruel story was made, and after your more personal stories, I ask myself about the title, because the title resumes for me, I'm not sure if it's true, the contradictions. Which Nação, which nation is the movie about? It's not so easy to answer, would be my reaction, but I would like to hear about it.
I'm the responsible. Okay. So, thank you for your question. Yes, I usually say because I was born in Angola and grew up in Portugal, I didn't have a Portuguese nationality until I was 23. So I usually say that I have two nations, and maybe that means that I don't have any. But it's funny because it's interesting that the title can mean that. It is originally a line from the national anthem of Portugal, which is a very, very nationalistic song and poem, and very patriotic, in a very 1500s type of way, And it's interesting because it inspires some condescending from our contemporary regard. And we just, we know that those lyrics are from another time, and that they belong to a sort of different perspective of the world that we don't have anymore. Yeah, so you were talking, yeah, that's it. So yeah, it's nice that that when it is taken out of the national anthem, that it can mean a question like you just said, of which is the nation in fact.
Please raise your hand. As you see, this is all very experimental. As I said, we're trying to solve together, and with two microphones that we can all share. So please just raise your hand if you want the microphone. Otherwise, precisely, maybe. Okay, no, there's a. Yeah, since it'll take long, we'll send it right away over there, please.
Thank you very much for this sharing these personal, let's say, histories and anecdotes. I think it's not only an issue in Portugal, but in Europe. France is also, trying to do the very same things that you mentioned or discussed. I'm still thinking about the movie. But I would like you, the director, to talk a little bit about the way that you portrayed Angolese people and and what's the meaning of ghosts for you, especially the ghost, yes, especially at the end. So if you could tell us a bit about the way that Angolese are portrayed in the movie.
There hasn't been an attempt to portray Angolese people in a sort of anthropological way. So the characters, every single character in the film, Jesus, every single character in the film is his own or her own person, and they're all individuals, separated individuals. Somehow they represent styles of life, because we start the film in a tribal context, very, very different from the urban context that exists today, just as the tribal way of life is still very much present in Angola. The meaning of ghosts, to me, it's all about ghosts. I think I love these characters of the dead that come back to claim their rights, to claim justice, to claim their the tuning of the history, and the rebalancing and the trial. So I really like that that they can be so heartfelt and so fascinating, even portrayed in a cinematic tradition of the horror film, because I think they are the Avengers, they are what's the word? The vigilantes, you know, that come to claim the justice. And to me, it's all about ghosts. Every memory is a ghost, and I think good memories are ghosts, but bad memories can haunt us forever. And that wall is the biggest ghost of all, because it's it's the old ideas made stone, you know, unbreakable stone. It's important capital to go through the stone wall of the past in order to live and enjoy the present.
Thank you for your answer, and also congratulations on the stoicism of answering so calmly in the middle.
Oh, it's a lot of Horace reading Horace, you know, like in the film.
That's, so, no, sorry, and I just wanted to, precisely you mentioned the wall, and I wanted to ask like a more concrete production-wise question. Where is that wall?
Oh, that's a question for Artur. Artur built the wall, and then he was helped by some witches.
Yeah, that was like 1 year and a half ago, or what, 2 years?
No, exactly 1 year now. Because
1 year and a half. Ah, exactly. So my first challenge when Leonor, João, and João Guzmão and Carlos presented the project with me, it was how to build this wall, how to build this tunnel underneath the water, how to do this effect, how to whatever. And then, well, I started to design the wall and think about with Carlos how the solutions to do it, and in fact the wall became like a symbol for, like Carlos just spoke, a symbol of bad ideas, ideas that need to be tumbled down and destroyed. And I inspired myself on the Berlin Wall, that is part of my childhood memories, the way that it was built and the way it was destroyed. And then, with the help of the post-production, my crew, of course, my construction crew, that built a section of the wall on top of the water, and part of the wall when Miguel touches it, and we have the help of the post-production to build the rest and to create that idea that wall surrounds. It was the entire world of these kids.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. As you were saying, so the idea of this wall that you have to throw down to be, but eventually they realize they don't need to throw down the wall. They find the crack that they can open and realize and go out through there.
I think, sorry. I think you can interpret the wall as a blindfold for us, the soldiers, you know, or for example, a child that you have, for example, and you're educating that child, you know. Sometimes you blindfold the child for some things, for her own safety, but I think there's a correlation between the wall and education, because how can you censor a child? For example, you have two parents and they are like serial killers, and they grow their child to be a serial killer. Are you really going to condemn the child for behaving naturally with what was shown to her? Are you going to condemn the education she had? No. So it's really hard to have a point to judge and really see through, not just free judgment, really understanding what is the problem here. Yeah.
Well, there's always a double side in every coin. But you were talking about the crack through which they pass, and there's this incredible song by Leonard Cohen with a verse that says, "There is a crack in everything."
And it's called Anthem.
That's how the light gets in. Exactly, called Anthem. Exactly.
Please, if if someone wants to ask or comment, just please don't be shy. So I'll just go ahead. Also, now maybe little by little we've gotten a bit more relaxed and you'll want to talk a bit more. So I wanted actually to talk, especially with the younger actors about, but in general, this is very much physical acting. It's very political through, okay, I said it was calming down. But the whole action, it's conveyed very physically. And maybe, I don't know if it's too technical or what, but including Ules, it's also very simple the way you embody everything that's represented in a very silent, it's the presence, the gestures, everything is very subtle and physical, and I would love to know how you work that and how that felt for you, just to see how you constructed that. So please, especially those who haven't spoken, maybe can start.
Well, they're exactly the youngest, the ones that haven't spoken yet. Tell you.
Sorry, my English is not bad, so I'm gonna.
You're fine.
Okay.
You'll do
Não,
it.
não,
Yeah.
não.
Okay.
Então, para mim foi enorme desafio porque foi o meu primeiro filme
It was a huge challenge for her as it was her first film.
Foi diferente porque eu sempre estive habituada a fazer teatro.
Yeah, it felt a bit different for her because she's used to doing theater pieces. So
Pronto, e então trabalhar com câmaras, trabalhar em cinema foi um desafio enorme, mas trabalhar com cargos e a maneira como ele explicava as coisas e o conhecer a personagem ajudou-me muito.
So, like working with cameras and like the cinema times are like it's a different experience for her, but she felt that working with Carlos helped guide her throughout that process.
E pronto, foi um desafio muito bom porque foi o trabalhar mais o corpo e as expressões e entrar mesmo na personagem, porque eu sinto que a Chissola é uma rapariga independente e que ao mesmo tempo pensa muito nas coisas, então sinto que ela ainda tinha muito aquela coisa de pensar, mas fazer
Yeah, that she feels that her character Chisola is like very independent and she has her own way of thinking and of doing things. So for her, it was really about embodying that will that her character has.
E pronto, foi trabalhar com toda a equipa e desenvolver as coisas que...
Yeah. So she's happy about working with the entire team, and she felt that everybody kind of like pitched in, and yeah. That's
Wait,
all.
did you share? The shooting was very separate. Did you work apart from João Arraes? Did you José Arraes? Did you work with any of them? No.
No,
Now.
only Silvio.
Yeah.
Only Silvio.
But yeah, Silvio. Sorry, I've just made. Sorry, of course you're the young. Sorry, I just switched characters. But you met the rest afterwards. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Precisely. Thank you. And I think that Carlos meant you to also pick the mic. Who is?
No, it was about the question.
Yeah.
About the question of physical acting.
Yeah, exactly.
Not so much things about the body.
Well, I guess I could answer that part. Or if you
Yeah.
want, like.
And also, you want to speak?
It's about that part. So we had like rehearsals and several meetings regarding our army, about the army stuff. Actually, my father, Primeiro Sargento Amorim, he helped us a lot because he did like a recruit with us and with another guy from the army. So we went paintball and that kind of stuff. So, but meetings and that recruit were very important. Yeah, and most of the cast were living together while shooting the movie, so they were always like, ta, ta.
And I just want to say that the acting of this film for me is really curious because we are not working about an idea of traditional character or a conventional drama. So even the structure of the narrative, it's not based in attempt of creating a possible reality, but it's based in allegory. So based on that, we don't have the necessity to create an idea of past and future for the character. We are focused on trying to create the action of what our characters represent. So the idea of the como é que se diz comportamento? Behavior, the way we felt about the narrative, the way we look at each other, receive each other, do all that stuff. So the idea of presence and contention, that was really good because it's not, we don't have a proper idea, so I should go there or something, but I should represent something. So that's clearly because we are like just a few boys and we are really similar, but at the same time we are not. We are trying to understand what is the body of this child. So yeah, the presence, it's everything.
Next one.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
another question for me? For us?
No, actually, well, unless, please just raise your hands if you want the microphone.
Don't be afraid.
Yes, oh, okay. Thank you. Preparation. Thank you. Sorry. Silvio, please. Okay. Oh.
Well, about that physical aspect of the acting in this film, I personally think speaking is a very difficult thing to do, but it gives you a psychology, an idea of an arch, and this you had to trust almost blindly in the director, to the point that I didn't know what I was doing. I did know, but you have no clear notion of how it's coming together. Yeah, and Ule was also saying, and I'm also more of a theater person, and I think making movies, because they place the actor in such a fragile position, you have to kind of summon a confidence that you don't really know you have. But Carlos, and I want to thank Carlos for this, besides his undeniable artistic talent, he is also a wonderful cook. No, but he's also a wonderful master of ceremony, in the sense that he brings us all together, and it's a delightful shooting experience in that sense. So if you are shy, or it makes you very comfortable, and that was it was a wonderful experience, if I can say this, obviously.
And there's one here, one there. I'll let you take it. Oh, and if someone, in the meantime, someone wants to
I was asking if João said that he didn't want to speak, but I was asking Ivo if he had anything to add.
The next question, whatever the question, they'll answer. Whatever the question.
Okay. Hi, Carlos. Hi, nice to see you again after Serpentarius in Berlin 3 years ago. Wonderful movie and a wonderful cast, so congratulations everybody. I have a question about a beautiful scene, the dancing scene. It was beautiful, and I have a question about the song, because it's a song that I love. It's spring, summer, winter, and fall. And my question is, if is why you choose that song. It was something that you had in your mind?
That's because of my mother.
Okay.
That's the song in Bad Bunny comes from her record collection. This song in particular, I remember her singing this since I was a child, and for some reason I associate this band, Aphrodite's Child, to. I think it was really big in Angola in the 70s. I'm not sure it was ever that big in Europe. I don't know. I know that that song appears in Demis Rousseau's collections of and usually is not even differentiated from his solo catalog. The song itself was something that I had in a certain moment in editing of Serpentarius. Then I didn't use it, and it came back here, actually. We did that scene with 2 songs. We played that song, and we also did some takes with Christophe's song Les Mots Bleus, which is way too modern for... I think this one was more truthful.
Bonjour, merci beaucoup pour le film. Je parle en français parce que malheureusement, je ne sais pas l'anglais. J'avais une question surtout par rapport à la compréhension de l'histoire, parce que j'ai eu quand même un peu de peine à comprendre l'histoire. Mais est-ce que j'ai bien compris le fait qu'à un certain moment, ces 6 jeunes ont été kidnappés à 8 ans et le général a reconstruit, si on veut, une réalité fictive et il les a menés, si on veut, à cette agressivité ou à tout ce rapport, disons, envers l'étranger. Ça me rappelait un peu toutes les expériences qu'ils ont fait en psychologie sociale. Est-ce qu'il y a de ça ou bien c'est uniquement une projection?
J'ai de la peine à parler de ça à cause de... Je trouve que cette question... c'est peut-être mieux de garder un secret parce que si les gens trouvent qu'il y a ce twist au milieu du film, peut-être l'histoire va être un peu.
But I guess everyone here saw it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will. Yeah. But what about the video?
You all saw it, right? So it's not there's no problem in spoiling, right?
But what about the streaming?
Ah, okay, yeah.
Okay, you are right. Vous êtes correct, c'est ça. Mais c'est un secret pour tout le monde qui n'a pas vu le film.
So, spoiler alert, well, now it's too late. You should put spoiler alert before the question and the answer. But yes, so the interpretation was right. Yeah, it's true. It's recorded. So that way you have to tell everyone to go see it before watching. There's that, and it'll be the last question. You raised your hand on the perfect second because we were going to finish later. So please, the lady with purple.
Donc c'est aussi en français, hein. Je me permets. Non, je vais vraiment vous remercier parce que on est de la génération, on était jeunes en 74 et tout ce combat, tout ça, ça nous a formés dans les mouvements de libération. Donc aujourd'hui, on a encore à comprendre, parce que c'était un idéal pour nous à 20 ans, mais on a à comprendre aujourd'hui la violence et la destruction que ça laisse des traces énormes. Donc ça, je pense que c'est toujours, on n'a pas fini de comprendre ça. Donc je vous remercie beaucoup pour ce film. Et à un moment donné, un de l'Angola, donc cet homme, l'homme de l'histoire de l'Angola, parle de la première guerre qui était la misère, il dit. Hein. Et ça, je dis aussi, ça nous a formés et ça continue à nous former aujourd'hui dans des libérations face à la misère. Voilà, parce que là aussi, il y a vraiment une destruction très grande qui continue. Donc voilà, ça nous anime beaucoup. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup pour votre commentaire. Merci.
So thank you. It was a comment about precisely about the fourth generation that in those days was inspired different ways by these ideals and revolutions and everything. That was the last in extremis question. Well, this isn't just a brave nation, a brave audience that stayed here, and look, you're rewarded. because now the sun is back out. We're all dry instead of having gotten wet in the middle of out there. So it was definitely worth it. It was a sign, you know, of hope, of sticking along, because it'll be for the better. So thank you very much for participating, for being here, for your questions, and thank you all for your film. Congratulations once again. Remember that in the next few days, there's different reruns. If you want to recommend the film to other people, if you want to look at it again to see it's true, as we were talking, not only structurally, but in many little subtle details, a second, even third viewing is always very nice. So there's more reruns in the next few days. There's more films here at the festival, so please keep enjoying, and thank you, and let's give them a last round of applause.
I really, really, really want to thank Terra Trem for this film, for making this film possible. Terra Trem is the best production company you can think of, you know. And the process of making the film together, it's a real sharing process, and it's wonderful. It's a very, very rewarding thing. Thank you.
And since that allows for a bit of publicity and you know, encouraging, on Sunday there's another film produced by Terra Tremi in Out of Competition. That's Onde Fica Esta Rua by João Pedro Rodrigues, Rui Matas, and so you are also invited. Since he's saying there's such, and you want to see other completely different kinds of productions, you know, there's always good reasons to go and explore different sections. So thank you, and anyhow, now it's about Nação Valente. Thank you. Pela justiça.